Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be sharing a short story of the newly elected Pope Leo XIV. And this story has been written by the New York Times, my favorite American paper. And I decided to make the subscription just yesterday. And it was curious that the first article that I had a chance to read was just this one. And I want to share it with you. Who is Pope Leo XIV? Here is what to know about the first American Pope, including his personal history and stance on major issues. Robert Francis Prevost was elected on Thursday to lead the world's 1.4 billion Roman Catholics, making him the first pope from the United States. He chose the name Leo XIV. On Friday, he presided over his first Mass as Pope, calling for missionary outreach to help heal the wounds that afflict our society. Here is what to know about the new Pope, how he was chosen from the many contenders, and the issues he will face as the successor to Pope Francis, who died last month at 88. Who is the Pope? The new Pope. Robert Francis Prevost, 69, was born in Chicago. Despite his American roots, his life has transcended borders. He served for 2 decades in Peru, where he became a bishop and a naturalized citizen, then rose to lead his international religious order. Leading up to the death of his predecessor, Cardinal Prevost held one of the most influential Vatican posts, running the office that selects and manages bishops globally. A member of the Order of Saint Augustine, he resembles Francis in his commitment to the poor and migrants and to meeting people where they are. He told the Vatican's official news website last year that the bishop is not supposed to be a little prince sitting in his kingdom. He has spent much of his life outside the United States, ordained in 1982 at 27, sorry, I'm sorry. He received a doctorate in canon law at the Pontifical University of St. Thomas Aquinas in Rome. In Peru, he was a missionary, parish priest, teacher, and a bishop. As the Augustinian leader, he visited orders around the world. How did he choose his name? What's its name? A lot, it turns out. A Vatican spokesman said Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost's choice to be called Leo XIV was a clear and deliberate reference to the last Leo, who led during a difficult time for the Roman Catholic Church and helped marshal it into the modern world. Leo XIII, who was head of the church from 1878 to 1903, one of the longest reign in papal history, is known for his 1891 encyclical Rerum Novarum, which strongly defended the right of working people to a living wage and set the tone for the Church's modern social doctrine. He became known as the Pope of the workers. Leo XIII called on the Church to reach out to the working class, said David Kerzer, a professor at Brown University, and to work out an amicable relationship between capital and labor. What language does he speaks? He speak? The Pope is fluent in English, Spain, and Italian. What are his genealogical roots? Pope Leo is descended from Creole people of color from New Orleans. The Pope's maternal grandparents, both of whom are described as black or of mixed race in various historical records, lived in the city's seventh ward, an area that is traditionally Catholic and a melting pot of a people with African, Caribbean, European roots. The grandparents, Joseph Martinez and Louise Bacquier, eventually moved to Chicago in the early 20th century and had a daughter, Mildred Martinez, the Pope's mother. The discovery means that Leo XIV, as the Pope will be known, is not only breaking ground as the first United States-born pontiff, he also comes from a family that reflects the many threads that make up a complicated and rich fabric of the American story. Where does he stand on major issues? When Pope Leo XIV gave his first address as a pontiff on Thursday evening from the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica, he concluded by referencing a concept that was one of Pope Francis' signature legacies, a synodal church. Even many Catholics don't know the meaning of this word, which refers to a consultative process in which bishops discuss church teaching and policy. Under Francis, who sought to democratize the church, those meetings were open to lay people, including women who in 2023 were permitted to vote for the first time of what issues the church should address. Francis didn't want church policies to be decided only by bishops in closed rooms. He wanted to open the doors to all Catholics. But it is unclear whether Pope Leo will be as open to gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender Catholics as Francis was, although he has not said much recently. In 2012 address to bishops, he lamented that Western news media and popular culture foster sympathy for beliefs and practices that are at odds with the gospel. He cited the homosexual lifestyle and alternative families comprised of a same-sex partner and their adopted children. As an American, he is uniquely positioned to stand in contrast to the energized conservative Catholicism in his home country. He has pushed back forcefully against the militant vision of a Christian power that the Trump administration has elevated. Before he became Pope, a social media account under his name shared criticism of the Trump administration position on immigration. Like many other leaders of the Catholic Church, he has drawn criticism over his dealing with priests accused of sexual abuse. A pope from Chicago. Many Catholics marveled at the announcement of the first American pope, something that had long seemed impossible. But in Chicago, they heard something else. The Pope was one of their own. Robert Francis Prevost hails from the Chicago area, where he grew up in a suburb just south of the city and attended a Catholic church and the school of Chicago's South Side. The Pope retained ties to Illinois throughout his life, returning at various points for posting with the Augustinian. He has continued to vote in his home state. Public record show including casting an absentee ballot in the November presidential election. And this is, a short story about this newly elected Pope. And I have to say that I like him so much. And I'm curious to see what will happen with his papacy. Thank you so much for watching.